Welcome dear students to another session on data structures. In this video we are seeing what dynamic data structures are and how you can implement linked list in C++. So I will be sharing the link where you can download source code for this particular implementation in C++ so that you can work out by yourself. So basically we can start with the concept of dynamic data structure. So in dynamic memory allocation, you are allocating memory to different resources only at the runtime. That means after your program is executing. So whenever the variables require space, you are allocating the space at that time. But what static memory does is that even before the program execution, that means while the initialization, you are allocating the space and that space is fixed. That means if your array, for example, an array is a simple static data structure, and what an array will do is in the beginning itself its size is fixed, so if you want to add more elements you can't do that. Okay, now in C programming we are having 4 functions that perform this dynamic memory management. First one is malloc, second one is calloc, realloc and free. So we will be seeing each of these in detail, but in C++ along with this functions we are having 2 new operators, new and delete, which are used to allocate and deallocate the memory dynamically. Alright, so moving into the functions first, what malloc and calloc does. So basically malloc and calloc are similar, both allocate memory of given size in bytes, and both returns pointer to the beginning of that particular block that is allocated. But the difference lies is malloc does not initialize the allocated memory. So if some garbage value is available in that, so it will store that itself even after the allocation. But calloc, what it does is the allocation, it will initialize the allocated memory block to 0. So all the garbage values, everything will be overwritten. Alright, and the syntax is like this will be the data type of what data type you want. Then using malloc you can give the size. For example, here it is a pointer data type as we have discussed here. It will return a pointer to the beginning of block. So ultimately we need a pointer of type int and its size has to be 40 using malloc function. The same thing I can use using calloc also. It will just initialize my allocated memory to 0, but in malloc it will not allocate any 0 value to my allocated block. Now we have 2 another functions here in C, which are realloc and free. So imagine in the previous case we had allocated 40 bytes size, but now I want 80 or 100, something like that. So for that I will change the size using this function known as realloc. So ptr is my pointer and I am reallocating it with new size. That is done in the realloc function. Now free function will be used to deallocate the memory which is allocated by malloc and calloc functions. Alright, so these are the 4 functions that were available in C. Now moving on to C++, what we actually have is 2 new operators. Here they are, new and delete. So previously there were functions in C. Now we can directly use operators to allocate and deallocate the memory in C++. Now we know the most common dynamic data structure, that is linked list. So using new and delete operators to operate on linked list, that is what we are going to see here. Before that, introducing you to the linked list. A linked list is a linear data structure. Here elements are not stored in contiguous location. In arrays, the data was stored in contiguous location actually, but here in the linked list the data will not be stored in contiguous location, but yes, it is a linear data structure. Now each node in a linked list holds 2 values actually. One is its own data and the address of the next node. Now the linked list is dynamic in nature. That means the memory can be allocated as and when we require. The linked list can be used to implement different other data structures like stacks, queues, graphs, trees, etc. So that is the applications of this linked list. Moving on, understanding the different advantages and different disadvantages of using linked list. Now advantages, linked list is dynamic data structure, so it can grow and shrink during the runtime. So if you want to add elements or remove elements is easier. Now efficient memory utilization is the other point. It's because of the same thing we can add and remove the elements as and when we require. Now the linear structures like stack and queue can be easily implemented using this linked list. But the disadvantages are also there. First one is we need extra memory to store the pointer information of the next node. The next disadvantage is that we can't have a random access of elements in the linked list. The reason is the address of one node is stored is preceding node. So because of that we can't perform random access, and hence the traversal is little bit complex. So in linked list the traversal is not that easy because random access is not supported. Now in linked list, reverse traversal is again difficult, and that is also because it keeps on a single linked list. There are different types of linked list actually, singly and doubly. So in singly linked list, it will only store the address of the next node. So we can't have actually the address of the immediate previous node. So because of that, the reverse traversal is again difficult. Now moving on, we can see a simple example of a singly linked list as we mentioned. This is a simple example of a linked list. Here we are having different nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes are here. So first one we have, in each node there are two different data items actually. So first one is the data value that is actually stored in the node plus the link of the next node. So each node will have these two different kinds of data, and the last node will be pointing to null, and finally it will indicate the end of the linked list. This is just indicating the end of the linked list, as the last element will point to nothing, that is it will be pointing to null value. Now we can see this is an example of actually a singly linked list, because here only forward pointers are kept. Okay, so from one node you can traverse to the second you can traverse to the third, and so on. All right, so the singly linked list you can go back also, that is possible using a doubly linked list, which keeps track of two pointers. One will be the next item and the other one will be the previous item. So its implementation will become little bit more complex because it is keeping two pointers at a time. Here in singly linked list there will be only one pointer which will be keeping track of the upcoming or next nodes. Coming on to our next example. So this is a linked list, singly linked list. You can see the final linked list here. So here 4 is a node, 3 is another node, and 2 is another node. So 4 is pointing to 3, 3 is pointing to 2, and 2 is pointing to null value. So initially when you create a linked list at the beginning of the program, your value is null. That means your linked list is empty. So we need to keep track of a pointer actually to hold the nodes. So I am taking a pointer head which will indicate the starting of my linked list. So initially, since my linked list is empty, what the value stored in head is a null value. Alright, so I will insert the first element in my linked list, that is 2 here. So the data value which I need to insert in my first node is 2. So basically my node is having two fields. First one will hold the data value and the second one will hold the pointer to my next node. Now since this is my first node, I don't have to point to any other node, right? So what I will do here is this particular new node which I have created will point towards a null value, and the data stored here is 2, and this particular node becomes the new head value. Initially head was null. Now since I have inserted another element, now this is the programming logic actually. So actually this one will become the head of my linked list. Alright, in the next step when I insert my second element, now this insertion follows insertion at the beginning pattern. So whatever elements or nodes I am inserting, they will be inserted towards the starting of the linked list. So 2 will be again pointing to null itself, and whatever I have inserted now will be pointing towards the already existing element. Now 3 is pointing towards 2, and again the data value 3 is stored plus the pointer is stored here. Now when I insert another node, that is 4, that 4 will be pointing to the current existing node, that is 3, and it will again hold the data value as well as the pointer to the next node. So this is how we implement a singly linked list using insertion at the beginning. So we can perform insertion in many ways. I can choose a place to insert in between 3 and 2 also, or after 2 also, that is insertion towards the end also. So there are different implementations of this singly linked list, insertion and all. Now moving to the deletion part, what we have to do is when we delete an element, we need to remove the pointers pointing to it and use the delete keyword that we have used. So I will show you how to delete this thing. So imagine that I have to delete 2. So what I can do is I can simply delete this node using delete pointer and now make this 3 point to the null. Alright, so this is how it will work. Now if I want to delete this 3 in between, what I can do is I can simply delete this 3 and make this 4 point to node 2. Alright, so these are the different implementations that we are going to see in our future videos. So stay tuned. I will be sharing the source code of this particular insertion implementation along with the description actually. So you can go through it, and in our next video we will be seeing how we can implement this particular insertion. We will also be seeing how we can use the delete keyword to delete the elements from the node. So stay tuned and keep watching to our channel to get more videos on data structures. Thank you for watching. Thank you all.